rock and roll trucker.
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Trucker, the channel that likes to rock and roll, the channel that likes to play. We love to eat, we love to truck, we love to see the world around us and just have a big old time. Come on in and have a seat, and let's have a good chat. We'll tell you where we're going, we'll tell you where we've been. Yes, that is me playing the music.
Good morning, everybody. Raining, kind of wet. Ready to go back to bed already, but I slept in my own bed last night. I haven't put up anything in a day or two other than my little changing a light bulb on a T680 tutorial yesterday or a day or two ago, because it's been not a great week so far this week, and I've just not been in the best of spirits and haven't felt like dealing with it. I didn't want to get on here and just be a miserable human being, and just I try to give the real realities and the real day-to-day of what goes on out here. And the real reality of it was the last couple of days was just not good, and I just wasn't my best self. And even though I like to kind of keep it real as I can on here, I just didn't want to get on here. And did you just see that guy? Wasn't that awesome? Y'all saw that, didn't you? Yeah, that was great. I just didn't want to, oh great, I can't get on the interstate here now. Well, that's awesome. All the cones and stuff were down. I thought they got that back open. Apparently I've got to start this day off not great either. What do we do now? I guess we're going to go around the block. But, yeah, I just didn't want to get on here and just be devoid of personality and have nothing good to say. I don't have much good to say right now, and it ain't starting off real hot, but we're here. I was able to go home last night, albeit many hours later than I had wanted to or planned to, but I slept in my own bed last night, and that's about all I did was just go home and sleep, but it was at my home. Last I left off, I can't remember. I ended up in Florida, right? On the trip I didn't really want to be on. I ended up down in Florida. Got down there. The next day, freight was just garbage, hot mess, just dumpy trash. And we couldn't find a load. Ended up wasting the whole day and just sitting all day Tuesday with nothing that was going to work. Just couldn't find anything that would work. There was stuff, but nothing that I was willing to pull. Nothing that was going to work. Nothing that I wasn't going to beat myself or my truck to death for a load that put my financials at a loss for today. For a day, I wasn't going to run in the red just to get out of that state. I don't feel bad for it. It did put this week to a rough start, but we finally found one. And let me see. That was Monday. Yeah, that was all day Monday. We delivered Monday, couldn't find anything Monday afternoon, got up Tuesday morning, couldn't find anything. And today is Thursday, right? I've lost track of my days, how this all even went. Anyways, we sat for a whole day. We sat, yeah. Delivered Monday. Only had an hour left, went parked at the truck stop, got up Tuesday morning, looked for loads all day till about 1 o'clock or so, 2 o'clock, when it was getting towards the end of the day when there's not going to be much popping up. Yes, that's when we wasted the whole day up until then. Had to turn down a whole bunch of stuff that just was going to put me in the red or just wasn't worth it or was putting me in an even worse area, if that's even possible. Finally found one, picking up yesterday morning in Valdosta, Georgia. I was like, cool, that wastes all of Tuesday, but I can get up early, I can go ahead and take off now, get towards Valdosta, get up early Wednesday morning, pick this load up, and I can head towards the house and stop at the house, because it don't deliver until Thursday morning. And you see, we've gone since Monday. We delivered in Florida Monday, and we're not delivering another dang thing until today. I was like, cool, we'll get it. took off, got about 10 miles from where I needed to be, stopped for the day, and I apologize if it's loud. It is raining like nobody's business. Got myself positioned to pick it up yesterday morning, had a 9 a.m. appointment. I got over there and checked in about 8:30, so I'm 30 minutes early for that mandatory hot 9 a.m. appointment, right? Got checked in. They had to go through this and that, and go park on, go scale in, go park in a staging area, give them their phone number. We'll call you when we've got a door for you. It's like, cool. They had a pretty decent amount of dock doors. I figured, hey, this shouldn't be too bad. Well, 3 hours later, 11:30, I finally get a door. This is 3 hours after I got there, 2.5 hours after my appointment time. Finally get a door. Okay, well that was stupid. Maybe they'll load it in a hurry. Got in the door, another hour and a half, almost 2 hours later. Finally get loaded. So I was there for a total of 4.5 hours. 4 hours past my appointment time. Get loaded. Well, by this time, they've pushed me. I'm down in Valdosta. Rain is moving in across the whole southeast. They've pushed me into where there's 100% chance I'm going to get caught in Atlanta traffic. In the rain, right in prime time traffic time. So yeah, we get to Atlanta, sure enough. Got in all that. Long story short, I was expecting to be home by 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the evening, in the afternoon. And by the time it was all said and done, the trip from Valdosta, Georgia, picking up that load, got me home at 8:30 at night. And I still got to get to Antioch, Tennessee this morning, so it killed my evening at home that I was supposed to have with me and a lady, Erin. We were going to go out to eat and everything, and that ruined that. She still took care of me and made me some good dinner, and just, just made sure that I wasn't completely miserable after the whole entire multi-day ruination of finances and life in this world we call trucking. But yeah, I was meant to have several more hours at home yesterday after that, after all that, but I got to sleep in my own bed with her. That's the good part. Well, we wake up this morning, it's pouring down rain. The radar shows that I'm going to be driving through the rain nearly all the way to my delivery point in Antioch, Tennessee, which means once I get outside of Nashville, traffic's going to be a wet disaster there. So today's not shaping up good either. I'm having to use more hours today to get there than I would like to have had done. And it's already Thursday. We've barely put together any revenue for this pay period, and it's just not going well this week. It is what it is, as I always say. We're going to forge ahead and get it done and hope we can find something good for the delivery tomorrow, or maybe even a really long one that doesn't deliver to Monday with really good revenue on it. We shall see. All I know is I'm not going back to Florida, and I'm not going to the East Coast. That's not happening today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. We're just going to drive, do the best we can in this rain, and hope for the best, because we need to turn some revenue. We need this show to work properly. We need everything to go smooth. Never does. One good, just solid, smooth week. We're still waiting on that. We'll get it. Not fussing. Well, I'm kind of fussing. That's a lie. That's a lie. I am fussing. Life is not working as it should have worked right now. I'm not losing my butt or anything like that. I mean, I'm still in the black for the most part. Like, I'm not having to prepare to take extreme measures to pull through or anything. Not yet. Knock on wood if I can find some. I don't want to put that curse on me, but we're hanging on even with it not going great. So if it ever improves, I feel like I have the mentality and the wherewithal to make a pretty good success of it. If I can survive through the way this market's doing right now, it's Levi. making through just about anything. You know, it is kind of a survival of the fittest out here right now, and there's a lot of stats out there and stuff, and you know, you compare you know, the rates from like 8-10 years ago, or you know, whatever it was. I can't remember how far back it was, but like based on inflation and stuff, people are like, well, the rates are really about where they were, you know, so and so 10 years ago, 12 years ago, whatever. And you know, that's fine and dandy, and that might translate to be true, but everything at that time did not cost what it does now. Yes, the price of fuel was up then, but there's not a whole lot of difference between now and then on that. And around that time period, fuel might even be slightly cheaper this week than it was back then. But right now, you know, the whole entire cost of living across the board, everywhere else is up, and inflation is running rampant and everything. So yes, even though fuel and rates might be comparative in, you know, regards to, you know, however you figure that up, everything across the board, everything else is not even right now. You know, fuel might have been roughly the same, but an oil change, I can tell you, is way up from then. Tires are way up from then. You know, parts are in shortage and scarce and way up right now. Shop labor rates are way up, rent's up, car payments are up, electricity's up, food is way up. So it's not really a fair comparison, you know, for the people that like to pull that money. You know, that some of the old head drivers out here, you know, and credit to them. I don't say that disrespectfully, because you know, they're still out here doing it. They've survived everything that's been thrown at them, you know, over the decades and all. But as far as the mathematics go on that, yeah, it's not really a fair comparison saying, you know, that really the rates are comparable to, you know, 10, 15 years ago. You know, it may be true, but everything else is not comparable. Other than fuel, everything else is absolutely out of control. I mean, insurance rates, you can't tell me that your insurance right now is comparable to what it was a decade ago. You know, it's like so it's difficult. It's difficult, even though historically the rates are probably still kind of where they might ought, you know, where they might ought to be. They're not covering everything else now, so it's difficult. So you know, if you can survive through this, like so many of the, again, I'll say the old heads, didn't mean it disrespectful at all. If you can survive, if I can survive, the rest of us can through this, like they have many other times in the past. We can survive the good times, that's for sure. We'll thrive in the good times. You know, a lot of these guys out here that have been here for a long time, this is just old hat to them, seeing the market go down like this. And it's got to be a little different for them again, considering all the costs and everything else. So, you know, they have to admit that. But those guys have seen this market depressed just multiple times every few years for decades. And, you know, again, I'll say, cost of living was never like it was right now. But, you know, it's a survivable thing if you operate your business smartly. And that's why that I've been trying to turn down stuff that does not turn a profit to my truck. If it's a penny in the red, whether it gets me out of an area or not, I'm trying not to touch it. Everything's cheap right now. I will haul cheap freight. You have to, because it's all cheap. But I will not haul at a loss, you know. And I think we've all got to be very adamant in making sure we are just, unless it's just a dire, extreme circumstance, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't just look at a load and be like, well, it pays out this much revenue. That big number right there sure does look good. Well, okay. Well, I mean, that total revenue does look good, maybe. But what does that break down to? Well, is it 45,000 pounds and going, you know, to the mountains and to the Pacific Northwest and Oregon or something where you're not going to get but $1 a mile going out? Are you gonna haul for barely any profit into a really bad area where you're going to come out with no profit? I mean, you got to factor all the things in. You can't just look at that revenue. You got to factor all this stuff in. something that starts out as a couple of cents, profit per mile, or a few dollars total revenue profit. When you start out, you may miscalculate, get out there and hit a mountain range, and your truck's not running particularly good that day, and you're eating up fuel like nobody's business, and halfway through the trip you're already running in the red. There's a lot more factors than just looking at that total revenue number. And I mean, I've been around trucking for a long time. I'm a new owner operator, but it's like, even I know that you got to look at the big picture as far as your revenue. And again, all of us are having to haul some cheap stuff right now, but just don't let it be so cheap that it's not turning a profit. That's where you start getting yourself in trouble. If you do it once, you'll convince yourself, well, I'll just do it again just to get me out of this area. Well, I'm not having a good week. I got to get something flowing. And I understand it. I understand the mentality of it. I understand, we do have to have revenue flowing in, but you can't have less revenue flowing in than what you've got flowing out the door. It's difficult right now. It really is. I mean, I'm not to say I'm not possibly shopping around and looking at getting in some more specialized things out of this spot market ball game until it comes back later on down the road. I'm weighing options on some stuff because I feel like the market might be bottomed out or getting close to it, and I'm reading that and hearing that in some areas, but it's not looking promising on it coming back and being strong again for quite some time. It's possibly bottomed out, but might possibly stay bottomed out for a good while before it turns back around and goes through its cycle and gets in favor of the carriers again. Right now the power is very much in the shippers and brokers' court right now, unfortunately for us, and it looks like it may stay that way for a while. So I'm looking around, looking at different options of what I can do with the truck, that is a little more sustainable, a little more consistent, a little more guaranteed, as opposed to just having it be a mystery every day. I don't know what I'm going to do. I may stay right where I'm at doing what I'm doing, but you got to weigh your options. You got to weigh your options. I'm not sinking yet, but I don't want to get to the point of sinking, and make sure I'm swimming strong so I don't sink. You gotta look out for you and your business right now. That's what I'm trying to do. That's like I don't try and be a complicated driver and say no and stuff with my my dispatch team and stuff like that just because I'm picky and want to be complicated. I do it because I'm picky about going out of business. Don't want to, don't plan to. Not going to do anything on purpose that accelerates that process. Anyways, you can see, pouring down rain. It's loud in here. I got driving to do. So I'm going to get off of here. And I've been rambling for 18 minutes. Y'all are probably bored of hearing my mess, but hopefully not. Just keeping it real, as they say, blah, blah, blah. I'm just an idiot with a steering wheel. So I'm going to command this here camera to turn off, and we'll get back at y'all here in a little while. Talk to you in a bit. Camera, you shut yourself off because I'm not allowed to touch you. What's up, y'all? So y'all saw me pull into the Petro here. Got a bit of an air leak I need to get patched up. Pulled into the Glendale Petro up here in Kentucky off of exit 86. Went in there to check on it. They said they could do it. They said we can get you in the system. We've got about a 5-hour wait though. I've got a 5-bay shop over here, and I just walked by it and looked. They have one truck. They have one bay filled out of 5 bays. They had the service manager at the desk and at least 3 other mechanics in there when I walked in to check. But they've got a 5-hour wait to get anything done. If you've got a 5-hour wait, why don't you have any trucks in the bay there? These truck stops, they're taking out the restaurants, they're taking out the service, they're getting expensive, and their shops don't even give a crap about fixing anything anymore. Like, I'm sorry, I can't buy that you've got a 5-hour wait when you've got a 5-bay garage and 1 truck in the whole bay. 5 hours for what? Just arbitrarily 5 hours because y'all don't feel like looking at what I need to have looked at? That's what I feel like when I run into stuff like that. Like, you know, these places just don't care anymore. There's no service left in them. We're going to go across the interstate here over to where the Pilot's at, and there's a Goodyear service shop over there. We're going to go try them out and see. We'll see if they got 5-6 bays over there in a 5-hour wait. I don't know, like, all these places know that most drivers, when they come in for a repair, like an air leak or something, we're usually under the gun to need to go get stuff done. And they don't get in a hurry for anything. And if they don't feel like doing something, you get that. We got a 5-hour wait. We're so far behind that you got to wait 5 hours, but we have 4 out of 5 open bays on the garage. Not a soul doing anything, and 3 people standing at the counter right now. It's just real difficult to ever get a smile on your face about this industry sometimes. I can tell you that. But we're going to go check the other place, and if not, we'll just keep on checking down the interstate till we find somebody that suits us. Or until we get the load delivered. And I'll tell you all about where I'm going and stuff here in a little bit once I figure out if I can get this fixed on this exit. I'll talk to y'all again in a few. I'll report back. Well, I drove across the interstate to the Pilot. There's a shop over here. It's a Goodyear shop, tire shop, general repair services and stuff. I'm starting to get the impression that these corporate shops just don't really want to do anything. Went in there, nobody working on anything. 3-bay garage, 3 guys just hanging out, smoking cigarettes, chilling. Went inside. One of them comes in to ask me what I want. Tell them what my problem is. Yeah, we could do it, but the guy that would be doing it just left. That'd be about 2.5 hours before we can get you in there. I'm like, what do the rest of you do? What do the other 3 of you that are here do? I'm not asking for an engine rebuild, you know. Is it what I'm needing done is, should pretty much probably, if you've got the part to do it, should be in the bag of tricks for every mechanic that works on big trucks. It's it's amazing to me. Both shops, I just can't get anybody in there. They just can't help out. I find me a little independent shop with some backer chewing rednecks like we got back at home that are motivated to get stuff done and will get it done whether they got the parts or not. That's what we're going to have to find. Let's drive up the road. We'll find another one. Hello again, everybody. We're back. Going on up the road a piece. I got myself on up into Indiana. I got smart and I got on the TA, the Travel Centers of America app, and checked in online into their shop to kind of go ahead and get myself on the list. Then I showed up here at the Seymour, Indiana TA. I want to brag on them a little bit. I don't have a lot of good to say about a lot of places anymore because they're not that great. This one, I'll pat on the back. I showed up. They had me in the computer with my problem and everything, and they didn't have anybody in any of their bays. They had a 6-bay shop. Didn't have anybody in there. And they took some more information and put me immediately in there and put somebody immediately on my problem. And in 30 minutes in and back out, for under $100, my problem was fixed. That's a new record. Shout out to the Seymour, Indiana TA, Travel Centers of America, and their shop there. That is exit 50A, not 58, 50 and the letter A on I-65 northbound if you're heading. I'm not sure what probably a 50 or 50A as well. Let me see, looking at my rear view. I think it's a matching exit going southbound too, but yes, very good job from them. Sight better to deal with than the Yahoos I dealt with at the other 2 shops I stopped at that just weren't going to do anything at all to even get me in the door. These guys got me in the door and back out so quick that I wasn't even able to finish a phone call. I thought I was going to be hanging around there for a bit and chatting it up and doing whatever, and I couldn't. I had to, somebody called me, and I had to, Rebel Dan called me, and I was talking to him for a minute, and I had to bail off the phone with him before I even got on there good because they fixed it so fast. So we had a win for today. It's not awesome spending money, but I was out for well under $100 and out with a quickness, which was well worth the trouble there. And I believe that my problem is pretty well fixed. If it holds, I will be really, really, really happy. That is fantastic. So shout out to Seymour, Indiana TA. Good job, guys and girls. That was the quickest in and out I've ever had at a shop at a reasonable quick fix price. No complaints. I like y'all. I will come back to you folks next time I have a problem that needs addressing like that out on the road. So, thought I'd share that with you folks. I'm going to drive some more, as you can see. Their fuel was a little high there, so I'm going to go on down the road about 20 more miles, 25 more miles. And I think I've got a cheaper fuel stop up here. I'm going to splash a little bit in, and then we'll figure out where we're going to stop for the evening. We're not in like the hugest hurry ever at the moment. I got a little bit of squish time on this load here, so it's going to kind of, we may stop a little short on this one. I don't know if we find a good place. I'm going to get off here, go find this fuel stop, and get back with you. See you in a little while. Good evening, everybody. It's kind of late. I forgot that I didn't finish this video up earlier. We are somewhere in Indiana at Pilot. I got the last available space I turned in. I had an odd string of little small wins today. Got my air leak patched up in a record time for under $100 at a shop. I snagged the last parking space today. I found something else I needed over here in the shopping center. There's restaurants, there's a Walmart, there's everything over here. Pretty awesome. I'm pretty happy about it. It ended up not being too bad of a day. I'm about an hour from where we've got to be tomorrow in Mishawaka, Indiana. And then we're going to leave from there and go to Valparaiso. I got to time it all right, though. I can't deliver any later than 12 tomorrow, and I can't pick up supposedly before 1. I'm about an hour from where I've got to get to, and where I get to is about an hour from where I have to be for the pickup. So I got to time it all right in the morning, so I can get this one off, but not have to kill too much time, but still have enough time to get to the pickup a little bit early. You know, you never know. They might load me early, and I can get on my way down the road. We're going to go to Aurora, Colorado. We're going over to the Denver part of the world for Monday. hopefully I'll be able to get in a nice relaxing 34-hour reset somewhere. If you see me scratching, I'm not all tweaked out and methed out. I woke up the other morning with like some kind of odd rash on my arms. I don't know if I picked up something from the when Dash was with me. I don't know if he drug his belly through some oddball plant and I got it on my arms, or if it was just stress and anxiety while I was in Florida and breaking out in hives. Aaron thinks I just stressed myself into a hives rash there, and that is very possible with the way my wound up system stays. You never know. Oh, I'm at a loss for words sometimes with how stressful it gets. I was like, dead air, dead air. That would have been like a bad radio spot right there. That was like radio sin number one there. Bad, like dead air. You can't do that. Yeah, that's where we're at. You've heard my rants and raves today about the shops that just didn't want to do anything, and you heard me get that rectified to a shop that did great. Now here I am sitting on top of another little win. This is not a very big pilot, and I turned in with not much else past here to go park at, and I passed up a couple of other places, getting a little bit greedy about getting down the road. So I turned in not really expecting to get anything, because it was after 7 o'clock, at 7:30 or so, I think, and I turned in and I was about to turn around, and I looked over, and the closest spot to the building next to the one lone handicap spot was open. It actually made me laugh. I was like, ha! I was like, I couldn't believe that I got that win after getting the win at the TA shop today. So yeah, we had a couple of things go our way today, except for my itchy arms. I'm just like slathered in hydrocortisone cream on both my arms. It's driving me insane. But yeah, we're here chilling out. We went and had us a little snacky dinner and walked over to the shopping center for a minute, and now we're just chilling out watching a little TV. We're going to do a little bit of our elastic bands exercises here in a few minutes, try and keep ourselves limber and in reasonable shape. And then we're going to get up in the morning. We're going to finish out what little bit of this drive is left and start a new day. Hopefully a weekend that has some interesting stuff going on. Hopefully I'll make a real good time and be able to take a 34 in an interesting spot somewhere. That'd be nice, because this week has not been awesome up until today. Hopefully we can continue to ride the wave of good things. Yeah. Where are we at? This will be the first video I've really uploaded in a few days, because I hadn't had a lot of good things to say, and I just didn't want to put a negative Nancy, completely negative video up. And I try to keep it real, but sometimes it's better to just let a day or two pass and try and let things smooth out. But as far as music goes, I try and keep it rock and roll, the rock and roll part of the rock and roll trucker going here with some music. And today I got on a big kick of like old like early to mid 80s tunes. And Corey Hart and Mr. Cutting Crew, stuff like that. And I got to listening to a lot of it, and thinking about a lot of that stuff when I was a kid. That stuff was really taking me back to times and places as a kid with stuff that was on the radio. I'm thankful to have grown up in the age of the music video, especially in the early days of it, back in the 80s. It leaves a lot of impressions, it brings back a lot of memories and stuff of times and places and sounds, and kind of a time machine. But I got to listen to a lot of that stuff, and I was getting amusement out of the fact that you can have like the most stereotypical poppy rock sounding, just 80s to the core song, radio poppy song like that, and a lot of them back in the day, just out of nowhere in the middle of it, they would just burst out with a guitar solo that would have made Dimebag Darrell pat you on the back for playing it. It just, the darndest thing, just these like ultra like awesome, like almost heavy metal guitar solos would just pop up randomly in the middle of these songs. And just my overall music recommendation for today is Go back through to the early and mid 80s, you know, like radio pop rock like that back in the day. Mr. I mentioned them. Like, their stuff I was listening to today was riddled with it. Like Robert Palmer. There was what movie was that? Bob Seger had a song off of a soundtrack back in the 80s, and it was so not traditional Bob Seger, and it's got one of the most ripping, like, metal guitar solos in it ever. I'm not going to recommend an album so much today as just a time and place. Go back and revisit some of that stuff from back in the day. Great songs, and if you pay attention to that and a lot of them, you'll remember what I'm saying here, and you'll get a little bit of a laugh out of it, because it is astounding, just the contrast in styles from some of these guitar solos that'll pop up in some of these songs. But that's about all I've got for now. I'm going to get off here and do a few things, edit this video together and put it up for your watching enjoyment. All three of you that watch these, I appreciate you. I see you. Shout out to you. Each and every one of you, you and you. But like, share. I love any of you that watch these. If you ever make it to the end of this point, get in there and comment. Chat it up with me. I'll try and find some interesting stuff to get on here this weekend. Hopefully I will. We're going to some places. We're going out to Colorado there. We haven't been there in quite some time. Like I said, hopefully we'll have time for a 34 somewhere where I can get out and walk and get some good stuff. But until then, y'all have a good night, good morning, good afternoon, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye.